I'd love to start with the question. Do you know that people in Japan use matcha powder to do tea ceremony? Anyone does? Oh, awesome. Thank you. Then, does Japanese tea ceremony come from Japan? Well, my answer is yes and no. Hello, everyone. I'm Zixi. My research challenges the standard history of Japanese tea ceremony, which describes it as something peculiar to Japan. Japanese tea ceremony, of course, has a Japanese name, cha no yu, which literally means hot water with tea. Simple, isn't it? But actually, what cha no yu means is way more than this. It involves aesthetics, religion, and art forms like calligraphy, painting, and pottery. Many of its ideas and forms have historical roots in China, which, interestingly, has been much neglected in scholarship. And this forms a gap in East Asian cultural studies that shouldn't be overlooked. Chanoyu history needs a more inclusive narrative. Tea was introduced to Japan in the early 9th century by a Japanese Buddhist priest who studied in China. At first, it was used in temples as a medicinal beverage to prevent drowsiness during long hours of meditation. Over time, the everyday tea drinking started to have its arranged settings and procedures among the monks. And some of them were impacted directly or indirectly by Chinese culture, which was key to the later formation of Chanoyu. One example is the eremitic ideal of retiring from society. Another example is Taoism, which pursues simplicity and one's integrity with nature. You may wonder, why is this research important, right? Well, my answer is probably not perfect, but let's just imagine. You're touring Japan. You must run into matcha, like matcha cakes, matcha ice cream, and matcha latte, right? While taking photos for Instagram, you're aware that there's another way of matcha called chanoyu. What's more, you're aware that chanoyu is not just an entertainment, but a traditional art which is core to Japanese culture and has a rich history. What does this mean? You're comprehending and inheriting a culture different from your own, even across oceans and continents. How beautiful! I love to wrap up with a line from the movie Dead Poets Society. Medicine, law, business, engineering. These are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for. Thank you so much for listening.